May Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahavirjang Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namo Gurubhyah. I welcome you all to this 18th session of Bhagavad Gita, which was happening in the Hindu temple of Allentown through the teachers of Arsha Vidya Gurukulam. And we are continuing online. This is our 18th session. We are in the second chapter, and we have been seeing two very popular verses. Even if it's something you are hearing for the first time, these two verses are worth remembering, which we saw last week. And those verses, because of the relevance to our emotions, the relevance to our the ways the mind can take us for a ride. And so when you know the track route, you can go back also. So for that reason, these two verses are quite important. I'll just do those two verses which we completed last week and then move further, because there is a request also that we can again see quickly the connections of our emotions to our mind and the outcome when it is out of control and all that, and then we'll move forward. Dhyayate vishayan pumsah sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamah kamat krodho bhijayate krodhat bhavati sammohah sammohat smriti vibhramah smriti bhramshat buddhinashah buddhinashat pranashyati. Dhyayato. Two verses have finished. Last two verses. Now, Dhyayato, this is verse number 62 and 63 of second chapter. So, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha, we saw when Vishayas decide, when Indriyas connected to the Vishayas decide about your mind, when your mind is under the spell of your likes and dislikes, that is Vishaya Dhyanam. Because when the mind is under the spell of likes and dislikes rule your mind, they take control of you, and there's always this projection of this I like, this I don't like, this is not pleasing, and there's always the Trishna, the Vishaya Trishna is there to go and seek at any cost what we like, and go and also to go away and avoid at any cost what we dislike. So the whole life is a bundle of likes and dislikes. The whole pravartana, the way we conduct, is all completely under the pressure of likes and dislikes. How would you like that? I don't like that. So that is the Vishaya Dhyanam, Dhyayate Vishayam. And then when it happens again and again, and it is happening again and again, even without such a programming has happened, we are only driven by that, and we don't know we are driven by that. That means this is just become an habit. That sangat, sanjayate kama. So all your desires are based on your likes and dislikes. All your desires is not based on what is right or what is wrong, or what I should be planning on a long term when it comes to my spiritual progress, or even when it comes to your material progress. That is not the guideline. The guideline is it's all about my own vasana in terms of my likes and dislikes. If that becomes, it is not even a guiding force. It is a forceful grip on you. It is not just guiding you. It is just forcefully taking you. So that is sangaha. When every day you stay with somebody, and say a roommate, and every day you are with a roommate, and naturally that sangha happens. And when the roommate is, he moves forward, he goes to a different place, then the missing will also happen, the shoka moha will also happen. So that being with that thought based on your likes and dislikes, always ever being with that, that is called sangha. Then sangha based desires, which we saw. Then of course all desires cannot be fulfilled, especially when it is based on so much of my subjectivity. When it's so much based on my subjectivity, it may not be fulfilled. And this happens, right? So we even don't know that we have so much expectation. Between spouses it happens, between parents and children it happens, that we don't know that there is so much expectation, and there is so much taking for granted. When something goes wrong, then it comes out, the krodha comes out. Sangat sanjayate kamaha, kamat krodho bhijayate. The krodha, the anger, is when we know that we have been expecting upon each other so much. Expectation is not wrong, but that having a grip over you, that is a problem. So that krodha, anger is one expression. There are several other expressions possible. And see, this anger is towards that person with who you have some expectation. I'm just giving an example. This is just an example. With this example, I thought what I told last week can be summarized with some interest, and then we can move forward. Then the krodha is not towards people from who we don't expect anything. So krodha is only towards people where there's some expectation is there. I'm not saying expectation is wrong. Again, I'm just giving the sequence how it works. So even at the point of expectation, nothing is wrong with that. When it becomes krodha, then it is a problem because it is hard to go back. That is why it's a problem. It's hard to manage that situation, right? So that is the problem. Not that you should not have desires. That is not what I'm trying to say. Then this krodha is there. Then krodha, see, along with the krodha, what happens? Krodha is there, and also moha is there. What moha? This krodha. Love is there, hate is there. So both when they are there, that is sammoha. Krodhat bhavati, bhavati sammoha. Love is there, hate is there. Towards the Guru, Shraddha is there and Krodha is there. How is that possible? You have so much Shraddha, and then you see something going wrong, and then there's some development of Krodha also. So sometimes Shraddha takes over, sometimes Krodha takes over. So relationship, sometimes love takes over, sometimes hate takes over. This is the sammoha. What has to, in the same place, both are there. And one is there, the second is not there. So that kind of sammoha, that is called sammoha as an example. And then when the sammoha is so much, when one overpowers the other, like for example, krodha overpowers, sammohat smriti bhramshaha. Smriti bhramshaha, you forget all the good things that person has done in one's life. It can be a spouse, it can be children, it can be parents. The children forget everything the parents might have done. That sammoha, and then see that love is there, but then because of this two overpowering emotions, one takes over, and then the sammoha leads to bhramshaha. There is you don't remember everything what that other person has been to you in your life. And then that forgetfulness, it is not just a forgetfulness, it leads to bhramshaha. It is not saying shruti brahmaha. Shruti bhramshaha means there's a fall. That forgetfulness leads to a fall also. There's no question about that. And that fall is in terms of your buddhi. Sammohat smriti bhramshat buddhinashaha. Because the buddhi which has been endowed with all those values, virtues, and over time you have gained all that, and they all can, it can all look like I have not made any progress. Buddhi nasha. This is not something I would like to happen in my life like that. There is a self-judgment, and then self-judgment leading to self-criticism. Nasha, buddhi nasha. So buddhi nasha means right and wrong doesn't remain anymore. It's all about, it's no more about right and wrong. Right, when right and wrong guides you, that is, buddhi is not nasha yet. But when right and wrong is no more a guiding factor, because right and wrong would be a guiding factor when you see that whole person, when you see the person behind the personality. So that is not there. So buddhi nasha hai. Buddhi nashat pranashyati. Buddhi nasha is as good as the person, he himself, not for someone else, for himself. When my buddhi is all messed up, I don't feel good about it. So when I don't feel good about it, that is called, I am, in my own eyes, I am kind of, I have fallen in my own eyes. Pranashyati. So this is the shloka we saw. And this is a very nice connection. And anywhere it can be connected. Suppose there is krodha, then the krodha becomes the vishaya dhyana. Krodha, that it becomes a thought. When there is sammoha, the sammoha can be feeding into the loop of dhyayate vishayan pumsa. Sammoha can be feeding again and again and again. So this is the problem. See how nicely now, the way Bhagavan has put the problem, there is an akanksha on all of us, how to see this problem as problem and how to solve this problem, right? So we'll see in the couple of next few verses how this is going on, how the solution has been told. So then the solution is, first of all, there is Vishaya Dhyanam. The Vishaya Dhyana means the Ragadveshas are dictating you. You're under the pressure of Ragadveshas in allowing your mind to think. The Ragadveshas or accompaniment. So that is Vishaya Dhyana. So what we have been telling all this time, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he has been telling about, in the place of Vishaya Dhyana, you have self-knowledge. Or at least satsanga. Not at least satsanga. Satsanga is self-knowledge. That is everything. Asuptat, amaranat. Asuptat means until I hit the bed and I feel so sleepy, or until amaranat, until I die, let me have Vedanta Vasana. Let me have some connection to Vedanta. Like if I have to give the class, I sometimes prepare until I feel sleepy. Likewise, you can also study Vedanta until you feel tired. So that kind of a satsanga, that replaces the Vishaya Dhyanam, right? And so that is the way the wise man would conduct. Because the whole thing is about how the wise man would conduct. Kim Rajeta. Arjuna's question was, Sita Prajnasya ka bhasha. Sita Prajnasya ka bhasha. Then he's saying, Kim Rajeta is the question is there, right? Let us see the question, because that is how the answer is all depending on the question, right? Sita Prajnasya ka bhasha. Samadhistasya keshava. Sitadi kim prabhasheta. Kimasita vrajeta kim. This kim means how regarding the sthita prajna, and we are seeing that how he conducts himself. Kim vrajeta, how he walks, but walks is not the point here. How he conducts himself is what is the highlight. So this sthita prajna is, instead of the vishaya dhyana, his mind is with satsanga vasana. Vishaya vasana, in the place there is satsanga vasana. That is one thing. But then there are others, but then that is not it. We'll see in this shloka, next shloka, how we can bring about that change. Not change of just attending satsangs, how we can bring about that change in the mind where we have the prasannata, the pleasantness. When that change should happen, that inner cheerfulness, as I was mentioning in my notice I sent regarding this class, that inner cheerfulness, the pleasantness, real pleasantness, not cheese pleasantness. Okay, so that pleasantness we are going to see here in this verse. Okay, sarvanatasya mulam muktam vishyavidhyanam ata idani moksha karanam uchyate. So you have stated the problem. Now moksha karanam, what is that which is going to lead me to the best in my life in terms of my inner spiritual progress? So that we are going to see in this verse. What is the means for that? What is the means for this opposite of this krodha and sammoha and vibhrama? What is the means for being the other person? That we're going to see. And look at this verse. This is verse number 64, second chapter. Ragadvesha viyuktaistu, ragadvesha viyuktaistu, Vishayanindriyaischaran, Vishayanindriyaischaran, Atmavashyair vidheyatma, Atmavashyair vidheyatma, Prasadamadi gacchati, Prasadamadi gacchati. So Ragadvesha viyuktaihi, two is there, right? Two. Two means whereas. See, Bhagavan is not giving up. After the two verses, the problem statement, Bhagavan is saying whereas, solution. Means whereas the solution is raga dvesha, whereas. Now look at the verb. Verb is adhigacchati. The last word in this shloka is a verb. Adhigacchati. Adhigacchati means obtains. Now, who obtains? The question should be who obtains. Then we have to look for the subject in the shloka. Then you see vidheyatma. Atma, yourself, you are the subject. But here, the self which is vidheyatma. Vidheya atma means ajnakari atma. Ajnakari, whose mind, so one who has his mind in his hands. Ajnakari. He can tell the mind what to do rather than the mind telling him what to do based on ragadvesha. That is the ajnakari mind. So immediately the pleasantness comes, right? When your mind is with you, rather than you being with the mind, and if the mind is all over with the vishaya, with the objects all over, that doesn't bring any pleasantness. That in fact brings helplessness. So when the mind is with us, there is some pleasantness. There's some sense of control, sense of mastery, sense of mastery. Then how is this Videyatma, how he became Videyatma? By Ragadvesha Viyuktaihi. It was simple. Ragadvesha Viyuktaihi. He became a Videyatma by giving up Ragadveshas, by managing Ragadveshas, by having them under his vasha, means by making sure that they don't have a say over him, he has a say over them. Ragadvesha viktehi. Then Vishayan Indriyais Charan. See, after having some sense of control, and this person is not equated to a person who doesn't do anything and just close his eyes and meditate. No. Vishayan Indriyais Charan. You go and do what needs to be done. Charan means go. Go after Vishaya. But this time don't go after, this time your Vishaya is not based on your Raga Dvesha, but based on what is right and what is wrong. Like a master, you walk around accomplishing things, what needs to be done. Vishayan Indriyais Charan. He goes after and accomplishes what needs to be done. So this is then what happens to this person? He will easily become an accomplished person, and he is not dictated by his likes and dislikes. So this brings a cheerfulness, right? When you're not driven by your pressures of likes and dislikes, at the same time when you're able to accomplish what you need to accomplish, what a great combination. This person is a prasadam adhigacchati. He obtains the prasada. We are all very familiar with the word prasada. Prasada here means cheerfulness. Prasada here means the sense of the satisfaction, absence of agitation. We'll see all that as we are. I'm not done with the verse. I'm just giving you the synopsis of the verse. And we are allowed to see what Puja Swamiji has more to say about this verse. And we have to see what others have to say about this verse. So this raga, dvesha, they are the natural tendentious pursuits of the senses. Naturally, it's very swabhaviki. Going after the pressures of likes and dislikes, it's so swabhaviki. It is no shastriyata is not there. There is no shastra behind it. You just keep doing that without any backing of shastra, without any backing of buddhi, just because, and they take you all over, and it is a common problem, so it doesn't even look like a problem. So that much natural it is. Indriyas are after that. Tatra yo mumukshu, but mumukshu, the sadhaka, the mumukshu, what is our take in that whole thing? Bhavati satabhyam viyuktaihi shrotradivi indriyahi vishayan avarjaniyan charan. So mumukshu, who has got the ichcha for moksha, who has got the desire for freedom, and it is why is this freedom desire for, and it is very, he sees how this desire for freedom is natural, while the world sees how it is so natural to go after your senses and sense pursuits based on your raga dvesha. This person says, isn't it natural also for me to seek that freedom behind all this seeking? So that kind of a sukshma buddhi he has got. He has got the buddhi, the interest for the fourth purushartha, which is in and through each and every purushartha. When I'm seeking pleasures, I'm obtaining pleasures, and I'm enjoying pleasures. So I'm free from the need to seek pleasure, right? For that temporary time. When I'm seeking wealth, I seek wealth, so I have the freedom from having to keep seeking that wealth. So that freedom, which is in and through all pursuits, this moksha purusha, what does he do? He doesn't go after his pressures of likes and dislikes, but then he also does. He's a sadhaka. He is more busy than anybody else. During this COVID time, there are so many people who don't know what to do with time. Most people are very busy working, but even busier than people who are working are these sadhakas, jignasus, the spiritual aspirants. They are more busy. They have class. They make the best use of their time because he's such a. So that means these people are employing their senses in the right direction. Vishayan avarjaniyan charan. What has not been you go after those pursuits which is not prohibited, which is considered to be uplifting yourself. Those things behind which this person goes, and he's able to do that because atma vashyehi, vasha, it's with him, and dharma and adharma dictates his pursuits. Atma vashyehi, atmanah vashyani vashibhutani taihi atma vashyehi. Then vidheyatma. He has got, then vidheyatma means what? He can dictate his mind, ichchataha, out of his own right desires. He can go and tell the mind, let us do this. Let us spend the next couple of hours in satsanga, and let us spend the next couple of hours finishing a task. So he is able to ichchataha apply. Ichchataha means he has got the mastery over where mind has to work for him. Atma antakarana yasya sahaya. Then what? The pleasantness. Prasada adhigacchati. So this prasada in the temple they give. When they give the prasada, prasada comes after you put some effort of going there, being there, listening, praying and everything. In the end, they give the prasada. And that makes you feel pleasant. That is the same effect here. When you have so much effort towards not succumbing to the pressures of your ragadvesha, you enjoy the prasada. Good. I said enough after the first serving of the dessert, then you feel the prasada comes later, you will feel happy. So this prasada is not taking in more prasada, taking more laddus. It is the prasada when you say, after taking this much laddu, when you say, I'm good, then that prasada comes later. I'm good, I stopped where I need to stop. Right? That is the prasada here. So it is similar, but also there's a difference. So this prasada, adhigacchati. Prasannata is saying, prasannata. Bhagavan, you look at Bhagavan. All the pictures of Bhagavan, Bhagavan is smiling. So that is the prasannata. That Bhagavan smiling is inner cheerfulness. And Bhagavan is not just smiling, he's smiling all the time. The inner cheerfulness is there forever. And that is the depiction of all our Bhagavan in the chitra, in the pictures. In all the pictures, there's always a smile. In Dakshinamurti's face, there's a smile. In all Bhagavan Sri Krishna's face, there's a smile, right? He has a flute, but there's a smile also. And so that is the smile, prasannata. But that is not, as I told you, it's not a cheese smile. It is a real smile, and that is from the inner cheerfulness. And that is not easy. Bhagavan is prasannata. Bhagavan's prasannata is there in spite of bhakta's murkata. Why should we only fire bhaktas like us? Abhaktas, though, what to talk about? Their murkata is also there. In spite of the murkata, in spite of the foolishness, Bhagavan is, in spite of the foolishness, selfishness, all those other qualities, Bhagavan is still smiling at us. That can only happen when there is this inner cheerfulness. When Bhagavan is not after his ragadvesha, that is when it happens. So that is what we try to accomplish as sadhakas. So this verse is all about having this pleasantness through the freedom from likes and dislikes, ragadvesha viktaihi, and then by having the senses in control, atma vashair vidheyatma, then vishayan indriyais charan. Vishayan, then he goes after the vishaya which he needs for his progress in life. That person is a pleasant person. Prasadam adhigacchati. So this is a summary of this verse. Now let us transit to the next verse. Next verse is also very good because it further talks about what the prasada can do to you. Right? We'll see the next verse. Prasade sati kim syat. Prasade sati. In this way, if you have neutralized your ragadvesha and have them in your control, and then if you conduct yourself with this pleasantness, kim syat, what is going to happen? Is there anything that we gain? Yes, we gain some good mental pleasantness. What else? Next verse. Prasade sarva dukkhanam. Prasade sarva dukkhanam. Hanirasyopajayate. Hanirasyopajayate. Prasanna chetaso hyashu. Prasanna chetaso hyashu. Buddhi paryavatishthate. Buddhi paryavatishthate. So this is, look at the verse and let us rearrange the words in the verse. There is a word asya is there. Can you find the word asya? Prasade is there. Then sarva dukkhanam is there. Hanihi is there. Hanihi is there actually. That because of sandhi it becomes hanir. Then asya is there. Then upajayate is there. Asya. For this purusha, asya purushasya, for this person. Prasade, due to the prasada he obtained by having a relative say over his ragadvesha, over his likes and over the pressures of likes and dislikes. Sarva dukkhanam hanihi. There is a hani. Hani, there's a destruction of what? Sarva dukkhanam, all sorts of sorrows. We'll see that. Then upajayate, that is born. In time, that is born. Born means in time. That happens in time, not right away. It's spiritual life is like that. Then prasanna chetasaha, that Purusha, that person who is having this mind which is tranquil, let us use the word tranquil also, tranquil, that person's buddhi, ashu, quickly, in no time. I said in time, but Bhagavan is even kinder. He says in no time. He paryavatishthate. He indeed paryavatishthate. His mind is he enjoys that quietude. It enjoys that stability, that firmness in his knowledge of what is right and wrong, in his knowledge of his own self, likewise. So paryavatishthate, settles, established in that. Well, it's very settled. You can see that person is a rounded personality, is a very settled person. He's a very seasoned person, matured person. That is very clear to that person. Now, prasade sarva dukkhanam. See, sarva dukkhanam we saw in 2-3 verses before also. This word sarva dukkeshu. Dukkeshu word was there. Anuvignamanaha dukkeshu. Here sarva dukkhanam. Dukkeshu is also plural in all forms of dukkhas. Here what? Sarva dukkhanam. So dukkha is dukkha. Someone loses a car or someone breaks into someone's car and takes something away. There's dukkha. And suppose someone has $1 million home and it gets damaged. There is dukkha for that also. That also dukkha, this is also dukkha. Dukkha is dukkha, it's the same. And for someone who is having $100,000, there may be less dukkha. Or $10,000, there may be less dukkha. Someone who has got millions in stocks, if he loses a few $100,000, he may have more dukkha. He may end up having more money, but he may have more dukkha. So dukkha itself is, it's not, there's no different category. But the source of dukkha is different. So that is in tradition, what we have done, we've categorized the source as 3 sources. What is that? Adi Daivikam. Adi Daivikam. Adi Daivikam and means the sources over which you don't have any control. Dukkha can be because of rain, property loss, someone not able to run his business because of the weather and whatnot. That is Adi Daivikam, no control. Dukkha because of the virus, Adi Daivikam, no control, we don't have any control. Yadyapi, although I should say there is some human error in how this virus was created and how it spread, but now we don't have control at this point. In fact, there is some human error. That's why as human beings, we are able to also trying to find some solution, and we are making progress. But then when it is out of control, it is Adi Daivikam. Then Adi Bhautikam. Adi Bhautikam is, as I told in the last time when I said about this dukkha, Adi Bhautikam is bugs, neighbors, and the boss. So there also you don't have control. So, but then that is also that can be a source of dukkha. They can be a source of sukha also. Can be those dukkha from those sources which are in the vicinity, we can say. Then adhyatmikam, from your own source, falling sick, and those kinds of dukkha because of sharira, because of the mind, that dukkha is called adhyatmika dukkha. So all these sorts of dukkhas, hanihi, vinashaha, there will be a destruction of these all dukkhas. Upajayate, they start melting away. Dukkhas start melting away when you have this prasannata, prasade. When the prasada is there, no vishada. Vishada is sorrow. The prasada is there, no vishada. So that is how it works. They both cannot be in the same place. Then buddhi prasadasya eva phalantaram. Kincha prasada chetasah swastha antakaranasya hi yasmat ashuhu. So when this prasada antakarana is when the mind, antakarana means mind. Bahya karana, karana means instruments. Bahya karana or the limbs, hands and legs. Anta, under, inside karana. Inside instrument is mind and buddhi. We say mind and intellect in English. Mind is samshayatma. Mind is there's some confusion. It can go after its pressures of likes and dislikes. Whereas buddhi is something which is the intellect, which can say, no, no, not now, not this, maybe some other time. Let us focus on this. This is more important. That is buddhi. So these two aspects are there, and we commonly call it mind. And in Sanskrit, one is manaha, other is buddhi. Faculty of intellect is buddhi. Faculty of the mental faculty, which has got all the confusion, questions, and all sorts of doubts, is the mind, or it's the manaha. So this prasannata is there in the buddhi. Then shigram, ashu means shigram, quickly. Buddhi paryavatishtate, that the mind feels accomplished. Mind feels accomplished. Like what? Akashamiva, like the space. Space feels accomplished. Space is ever accomplished. Space doesn't have to feel that there is somebody making something new in London or Paris. Let me go there and see what it is. No, it is accomplished. It knows in space only everything happens. It doesn't move, not because it cannot move, because it is full and complete. All right? So that kind of a accomplishment. Atma Swarupenaiva Nishchali Bhavati. That is Nischala. There is no, what I should say, no agitation in the mind in terms of error, in terms of doubts and those kinds of things. In terms of even spiritual doubts also. So that is Nishchali Bhavati Ityartha. So because there's no inhibitors, it's possible because the ragadvesha, the pressures of ragadvesha, the pressures of extreme likes and dislikes, they don't bother him anymore. So that stability is there. Evam, the stability not in terms of physically, mental stability is there. Evam prasanna chetasaha avatishta buddhehe kritakrityata. Kritakrityata. So this is the further is explaining about this mind. The kritakrityata is there. Kritakrityata. Kritakrityata means this person feels accomplished. That is kritakrityata. Feels accomplished. And so this person is, how he is feeling accomplished? He is not feeling accomplished because he is not feeling accomplished just because he grabbed something from somebody. No, that kind of accomplishment. He is feeling accomplished because what I am trying to grab from somebody, I have it within myself. What I am trying to, the food I am trying to enjoy going out, that food I can make here myself. In the sense, I'm just giving an example to make it more sense to you, what the kritakrita means, right? It doesn't always, because he's a source of happiness, and that kind of an accomplishment is there. Raga dvesha viktahi, and of course it is free from raga and dvesha. Indriyahi, shastra viruddha virdeshu avarjaniyeshu iktaha sama charete. Hanirasyopa jayate, and it does samacharet. He is excellently executing what needs to be done. He is an excellent executor. Not that he is, when I say excellent executor, not that he is always feeling success. He is only seeing all success everywhere. No, he knows how to make progress in his life. He knows how to look forward, move forward, and he takes the help of Shastra. He takes the help of what is right and wrong, and without getting swayed away by his likes and dislikes, he goes and conducts himself samachare. This is the artha of this vakya. So this is the person when the mind is in tranquil. Prasade means the mind is in tranquil. What happens? Destruction of all pain and sorrow is born. Sarva dukkhanam hani asyopajayate. And because of the knowledge of the one who is tranquil, so this tranquility is not just an external thing. It's because of the knowledge, internal knowledge of, because of knowledge, the tranquil-minded soon becomes well established. That is what is called prasanna chetasah hi ashu buddhihi paryava tishthate. Tishthate means, tishthate is from the root stha, Gati nivartav. Stand, we say that is tishtate, but here the standing being established. Because standing is, when you say somebody is moving around, when you say stop, what he does, he just stands. You did not ask him to stand, you asked him to stop, but he stands. Wherever he is, he stands. So stand means this person is stopped going after the ragadveshas. At the same time, he conducts for the sake of his own real upliftment. Okay, so this is this verse. Prasade sarvadukkanam hanirasvyopajayate prasanna chetasah hyashu buddhi paryavatishtate. Let's move further. We should have time for one more verse at least. Let us see this next verse. The next verse, Bhagavan is not dropping the word prasada. I mean, in the sense, Bhagavan is might not have used the word prasada in the next verse, but it is about prasada only. Why won't we know more about this prasada, right? This prasada, what happens? It is being praised. It is being praised by in a negative when it is not there. What is the problem? In that way, it is praised. Okay. Yeyam prasannata stuyate. There is a stuti is there. Stuti. Like you do stuti of Bhagavan, here the stuti of prasada. Bhagavan, there is one stuti is Anishvaraya Namaha. Anishvaraya Namaha. Shiva, in Shiva Stotra, there is one Anishvaraya Namaha. Ishvaraya we know. Ishvaraya Namaha we know. What is this Anishvaraya Namaha? Hey Bhagavan, An is negative. Like, what I should say, apnoti, anapnoti, or something like that, let us say. So, anapnoti. So, this an is negative participle. Anishvara, an is here, it would mean, hey Bhagavan, not Ishvara to you. No, that is not the meaning. The meaning is not Ishvara. The meaning is Anishvara, means the one for who there is no other, there is no Ishvara above you. That is Anishvara. So what I am trying to say is, sometimes you have those kinds of words to praise also. So here also there's some negative participles being used to praise this buddhi. What buddhi? The cheerful buddhi, the pleasant buddhi, the calm buddhi, the settled buddhi. Nasti buddhirayuktasya. Please repeat. Nasti buddhirayuktasya nacha yuktasya bhavana. Nacha yuktasya bhavana. Nacha bhavayata shantihi. Nacha bhavayata shantihi. Ashantasya kutas sukham. Ashantasya kutas sukham. Ayuktasya, the one whose mind is ayukta, who is not in the control of that person, but who is in the control of the ragadvesha. Means one whose mind is not prasannata. The prasannata, the one whose mind in which the prasannata which we have been discussing, which is not there. If it is not there, buddhihi na asti cha ayuktasya, for buddhihi nasti. That person is as good as there is no buddhi. The buddhi where there is no yukta, where there is no togetherness in the buddhi which is all over the vishayas, there is no unity. The buddhi which is united, which is yukta, which is integrated, if the integration is not there, it is as good as the buddhi is not there, not available for you, right? The integrated buddhi is not there, as good as buddhi is not available for you. So that is the thing. Nasti buddhi ayuktasya, nacha ayuktasya bhavana. And for this person who is all over, there is no bhavana, there is no contemplativeness, there is no meditativeness in his life, there is no focus in his life, no bhavana. He cannot take up and focus on one thing. He cannot be contemplative. Here, the contemplativeness in knowledge, self-knowledge, which he has studied, which he is studying, but that he is unable to bring it because the mind is not available. In the mind only you bring it, right? When the mind is not available, you are unable to bring that bhavana. Nacha abhavataha shantihi, abhavayatah shantihi. So the person who is abhavayatah, for the person who is not having this contemplative mind, no shanti is there. Shanti, what does shanti mean? Shanti means no calmness, no peace is there, no peace. No peace is there for this mind. Then ashantasya kutah sukham. When there's no peace is there, do we need to say there's no happiness? There's no need. Kutah, where is the happiness for that person? No sukha. So this is verse. Now, look at this. When you say there is no buddhi for this person, it means what buddhi is not there? Atma swarupa vishaya buddhi nasti. The Atma swarupa, the swarupa of yourself, the truth about yourself, that truth about yourself, Atma swarupa, that vishaya you have been gaining through all this satsang, but that buddhi which is all over, it easily, this knowledge dissipates. Ayuktasya asamahita chittasya karanasya nacha asti ayuktah bhavana. So this is when the bhavana is not there. So nacha yuktasya bhavana. What does bhavana here mean? As I told you, it means atma jnana abhiniveshaha. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says atma jnana abhiniveshaha. Means you have been listening to the shastra. There is some shravana, and then when the mind is together, there is some manana. Means you bring that knowledge and you clarify all the doubts and you make progress like that. But then that contemplativeness, you dwelling upon that knowledge, you owning up that knowledge is one thing, and then you owning up that knowledge and making that knowledge your own, as if it is your second nature, as if it is your nature. It is your nature. That is why they say, when they say something, it becomes a habit, as if it is a second nature, they say, right? Because the first nature is you as a person, as the Atma, irreplaceable. That nature is irreplaceable. So that owning up, that abiding in that nature won't be there. That is contemplation. That is contemplation where you abide in yourself. That is not there. Tata nacha asti abhavayatah, and for that person, abhavayatah atma jnana abhinivesham akurvatah shantihi. Look at this, shanti. Shanti is not there for the one who cannot be contemplative. For the one who cannot be contemplative, what kind of shanti is not there? The shanti which is in the form of upashamaha. The shanti where there is upashamaha is there. Upashama means there is no hankering, there is no longing, there's no more hankering, there's no more longing, earning, there's no more that thought, without this, what will happen to me? That freedom, your vasha, the indriyas and your vasha, that upashamaha, that kind of a tranquility, that is not there. That is not there. See, when the money, when it is in your own hands, you are in control. You are in control and you are free. When it is somebody else's hands, do you enjoy the same freedom with that money which is in somebody else's hands? No. So freedom is not there. So upashamaha means you have everything with you, so you're relatively peaceful. And that peacefulness is not there for the one who is not contemplative. Nacha abhavayatah shanti. Na shanti. There's no shanti. There's ashanti only for the one who is not contemplative. And for the one who is having no peace, there's no shanti. Ashantasya kutas sukham. Ashantasya kutas sukham. Sukham is happiness. Because some people say, I'm not after peace. I'm only after some happiness. All that I care for is only happiness. People say that, right? All that I care is only happiness, they say. Especially this peace, shanti, shanti, shanti. This is all maybe, it's an Eastern thing. It's an Eastern thing. In the West, We all care for only some happiness, so from enjoyment. And that's why we have these happy hours also. Happy hours, as Puja Swamiji would say, it is only happiness for the bar owner, not even the bartender, not for you, of course not for you, not for the person. So this is there, this Ashanti is there, and if there is Ashanti, happiness cannot come. Happiness can come only when there is relative peace. Happiness follows relative peace. So what we have to strive for is relative peace. And relative peace, how we strive for? By having relative knowledge about what is right, what is wrong, and what is my purpose and all that. And living that life, that bhavana. And that bhavana, for everything you need the buddhi, and that buddhi has to be something which is free from the hold of the pressure of your likes and dislikes. That buddhi, when it's available, naturally you will be able to be contemplative. And when you're relatively contemplative, you generate the peace within yourself. And with that peace, you also naturally enjoy some happiness. So this is how it works. So this is the verse where we saw, for the one who is not tranquil, there is no knowledge. For the one who is not tranquil, there is no contemplation. And for the one who is not contemplative, there is no peace. And for the one who has no peace, how can there be happiness? So this is this verse, verse number 66. Swamiji is with us now. He had an appointment and he had to go, and I had also go and come back. So with Swamiji, we'll do maybe one more verse. We have 10 more minutes. So this class usually it goes from 4:15 until close to 5:30 or so. But today we can finish much early, and with this final verse for this session. Ayuktasya kasmat buddhi nasti ityuchyate. So if you're not able to appreciate how this mind, which is driven by the pressures of ragadvesha, how it is all over, if you're not able to appreciate that, well, you may say, I have had enough of that in terms of this teaching. But Bhagavan Krishna is not sparing. He is wanting to give an example for you. Let us see that beautiful example here. Indriyanam hi charatam yan manonu vidhiyate tadasya harati prajnam vayurnavamivambhasi. Yatha, he indeed, yatha is not there. Don't look for yatha in the shloka. Like ambasi in the waters, this is there. Ambasi is there in the shloka. If you look at the last word in the shloka, Vayuhu Navam Iva Ambasi. Vayuhu Navam. Navam means boat. The navigate word is from the word Nava, which is a Sanskrit word. Navigate is from Nava, the boat. So here I am picking up the word Ambasi, in waters. Not in the land, in waters. Then what happens? Navam, the boat. Vayuhu Iva. What happens to the boat in water?
Storm.
There's a storm. Vayu, storm is there. What happens to the boat? Even like that, the boat is all over. It is lost. It is as good as lost. Like that, Harati is robbed. What is robbed? It robs. What robs? Tata Vishayeshu Charatam. The one who is with the Vishaya. Indriyanam. Charatam Indriyanam. Yat Anubhavaha. Indriyanam hi charatam. For the person who goes after his indriyas. Going after indriyas have no problem. Vishaya, the indriya, the objects have no problem. But we going after them pressurized by our raga dvesha is the problem. So that kind of a going behind, then what happens to that? Is as good as the boat, or as bad as the boat which is in the water and being drifted away by storm. So this is the verse. I just gave you the meaning, and let us look at some highlights. So Indriyanam hi asmate charatam swasva vishayeshu. So Indriyas, what is the job of the Indriyas? Indriyas are reporters. They just the senses are just reporters. They just go and connect to the Vishya and report the Vishya. No problem with the Vishya. No problem with the objects, as I said. No problem with the senses. We want them to recognize the objects. We're not here to say that destroy your senses. No, let them be with us and for our accomplishments. Then but then manaha, the mind, when it goes anuvidiyate, when it goes after, but Indriyas report based on your likes and dislikes. They go after, say, if they're going after your likes and dislikes, this mind can have some control. No, this mind is also going after. Anupravartate, that mind, tad indriya vishaya vikalpate, vikalpane pravritam manaha asya yatahe. For this person, for the one who is yatahe means the one who is trying, but still the mind is all over. Harati prajnam, that little knowledge he gained. Prajna means what we saw. Tasya prajna pratishtita. We have been seeing this word prajna several times. Here that prajna word means that knowledge, self-knowledge, which is koshanam api kosha, which is your treasure. Say, for example, all that if you're doing a research, if you're a PhD and if you're doing research, what kind of a treasure you have? You are very unique. What you have gained through all the experiments and all the analysis and all that, that is a real treasure. Likewise, this prajna is the treasure in terms of self-knowledge. That treasure, yatehe prajnam, atma anatma vivekajam, that is being born. You have gained it over so much effort by trying to see clearly what is satya and what is mithya, what is reality and what borrows reality from this reality. Like that kind of an analysis you have done, and you're very clearly you're trying to see. You see the in and through all the ornaments, you see the gold, that clarity. In and through all entire srishti, in and through the entire srishti, you see your Brahmatvam. You see your limitlessness. You see your limitlessness in and through all srishti. That kind of a knowledge, beautiful knowledge you have gained, and but that is also robbed. And the example, beautiful example, like a boat. This boat is not in the shore. If it is in the shore, see, we are not talking about a boat in the shore. We don't care about that. So we are not talking about the indriyas. We are not talking about not using the indriyas, just as if the boat is put on the shore. No, we want the indriyas to do its job. It has to be in that water where it is being tossed around. Well, the boat is meant to go in the water, right? So that is how. But then this tossing around is happening as such, and you're trying to manage the boat. But your likes and dislikes, your pressures just come like the storm and just push the boat aside. And this boat is also not any ordinary boat. It is not a cruise boat where you don't mind being going astray for some time, and then the cruise man switches off the boat and he allows it to stay because he can get one more day rent from you. He can just stay wherever he is. No, this boat is a mercantile boat. It has to reach. If the goods are coming from China, it has to reach the shores of Africa in a certain time. So this kind of a priority is there. That boat, which is your own buddhi, which has to reach somewhere before your eyes and ears and everything, they become kamjor before they lose their power. That boat is as good as destroyed or taken away by this wind of the pressures of ragadvesha. So this is the verse. The mind that follows the moving senses, moving senses, robs the person of his knowledge, just as the wind carries away a small boat on the waters. So with this, I thank you all for attending this session, and we'll continue in the next session. Very excellent verse is coming, which is which is the kind of very oft-quoted verse. Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam. Very mystical. People say it's a mystical verse, but it is no mysticism behind it. We are here to demystify everything and make it all knowledge, your knowledge. So that is our effort. So we'll continue in the Charama Shloka, Swamiji says. And there are only 4 more shlokas, 4 or 5 more shlokas in this chapter. We'll have a good finishing, if not the next class, the following class. And thank you all for attending. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.